There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. When it comes to the vacation rental industry, this message has a tendency to get lost sometimes. Whether it's in the frantic day-to-day or in the competitive landscapes where working together seems about as fun as dinner with the in-laws. Vacation rental companies often tend to view each other as enemy competition more than we do collaborative partners. As I'd learned in Georgia, sometimes it takes a leader in a market to put the destination ahead of him or herself. The term vacation rental can mean a lot of things. But at the very core, it's a movement unlocking a whole new way to travel. For years, I've immersed myself in the community of people leading this movement. And I'd like to share with you their stories as we rediscover hospitality on a whole new level. My name's Matt Landau, and this is A Sense of Place.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Good morning, my friend.
How are ya?
Doing good. How are you?
Long time no see.
You too, man.
How are you?
Fantastic.
CJ Stam is the owner of Southern Comfort Cabin Rentals. And while he doesn't live in Blue Ridge, he genuinely cares about the well-being of this destination as much, if not more so, than any local business person I'd meet during my stay. On my first morning at 7 a.m., CJ picked me up at Vista Rustica, a cabin in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Having actually built the cabin himself, Vista Rustica is one of 100 or so professionally managed properties that CJ's company oversees. It's as complete of a log cabin that one could possibly expect. Vast mountain views, fireplaces, a hot tub, a game room, and that fresh pine smell that you simply cannot fake.
So we got a little meeting this morning?
Yep. We're going to meet with members of the Lodging Association, and this is the Committee for the Blues and Barbecue, which is a festival that we put together about 8 years ago now.
Cool.
Specifically, we got together and everybody said, what's the slowest weekend that we've got, right?
Genius, reverse engineer the low season.
And we created and planted a festival, and now it's one of the biggest festivals in North Georgia.
Vacation rentals represent 95% of all lodging accommodations in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So companies like CJ's are in the dead center of a much bigger ecosystem. He referred several times to this dynamic as hub and spoke. This idea that when all elements of a destination are working together in conjunction with one another, forward momentum begins to take place and everyone succeeds.
That was the birth of the Lodging Association, because I quickly saw how I'm new to the industry, I'm getting pitted against my competitors, I'm looked at like I'm potentially a villain.
Yeah.
And I said,
the economy is like super volatile.
So I started reaching out to some of my competitors and saying, look, we need an association, right? We need to be, and I don't want to create a police force, but we need to control the narrative. We need to be able to pool our resources and say, we're not that guy. We do business at a higher standard.
Now on their 8th annual event, this lodging cohort has single-handedly drawn tens of thousands of tourists to the area. I've learned that this kind of civic work comes naturally to the business people of Blue Ridge. And there was no better place to see it in action than on Main Street.
Surprise!
Well, no fooling. What are you doing?
Hello.
Trying out your new equipment.
I'm CJ's friend Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's nice to see you. I'm
Nice to meet
Sarah. We specialize in functional art.
I can tell.
You can eat it, you can drink it, you can enjoy it around the clock.
Located almost across the street from Sarah was Case, the Georgia native with several restaurants in town, including Canterbury, where CJ eats lunch at least 3 times a week.
Thanks, guys. You're really good. Thank you.
One of the most iconic small businesses on Main Street is owned by Shannon and Bill Oyster. Oyster fly rods are some of the most prestigious in the world.
We sell our rods all over the world, essentially. Got onto Main Street, sort of stumbled in a decade ago, and sort of all these people showed up. So that's exactly what happened.
Bill's recognized as a legendary engraver, carving these incredibly detailed scenes into the metal caps of the rods. This is all the more amazing considering that Bill's actually self-taught.
So you not only learned it yourself, but it sounds like you've got a little bit of like a spot in your heart to make sure other people can learn it too.
Yeah, I remember the struggles that I had learning, and the dirty looks I had from the guys who knew. And once I figured it out and people came to me, it didn't feel good to me to treat them the same way I had. So instead, we just decided to listen to our customers and what they wanted and see if we could make that fit. We could make the nicest rod money could buy and send it off to someone, and they paid a lot of money for it and they appreciate it. But I don't think anybody appreciates it the way that the students do, who actually come in and they get to see it all firsthand. And to do it themselves, you know. And so if we have somebody come in who's interested in either buying a rod or taking a class, even though our rods might be 5 times as much, I always steer them towards the class because I tell them there's nothing that I can do for you that will mean as much as if you did it yourself. You know?
This layered business model naturally produces small batches of high-quality relationships with their clients. Riley, the shop's manager, is a product of this thoughtful system.
You know, so you can't just come in thinking dollars and cents. And that's where a community is going to put the brakes on you, because this isn't just our business. This is where we live. It's where we raise our kids. It's where our families are, you know, and we want the town to be good for that as well as make financial sense.
You walk down the street in Blue Ridge after living here 6 months, you know every single person. You know, and so they keep you in check a little more.
You don't
too.
flip people off in traffic in Blue Ridge. They'll come to your house and punch you in the nose. That's the difference. So.
Of course, I'm great. I'm Heather. Wonderful to meet you. I loved all the pictures I've been seeing. Hi, how are you?
For lunch, I met CJ's wife, Heather, who joined us at the Blue Ridge Brewery, a really cool little gastropub located just off Main Street. I was reminded how important spouses are in the emerging vacation rental movement. Since few professionals, including CJ and Heather, entered the business with any kind of formal training, the ability to adapt and to support one another proves to be this huge difference maker in the trajectory of their growth. Another example of CJ's colleagues is Paul Gribble, who's a competing vacation rental manager who subscribes to the Blue Ridge mentality of teamwork. Along with his fiancée, Christy, Paul loves to drive down to the marina after work on Lake Blue Ridge. We went to Christy's family dock to feed the catfish.
Do you guys do that kind of fish? Do you do that kind of fishing where you like grab your arm into a hole?
Yeah, you can. Here, take a handful. No. Just keep it in the water.
You know, and you get a attack. That is that kind of fishing.
And after a swim, I got to indulge in my first swigs of moonshine, both the traditional flavor, if that's the right word, and the newfangled apple pie version. And within minutes of the moonshine, I was spinning with excitement because the drone sonar led us to this sunken houseboat that I imagined was part of some kind of crime novel.
Oh no!
Matt, the moonshine bounty hunter, trying to get back inside of the boat.
Someone let me up.
Sure, what do you need?
You need help?
We're busy
Do you need help?
Could you help me? There's a ladder back here, Mateo. Try this one more time.
Okay.
Was he swimming under it? Take the GoPro and swim under the boat.
That seems like a dumb idea.
Oh yeah, we can open this for you. We can.
I still need him for a few episodes.
We can.
That was awesome.
For a few.
Thank you very much.
And after the boat ride in search of a drink before turning in for the night, we had some issues finding a spot that was open. Blue Ridge's history as a dry county means that the nightlife is close to non-existent.
Warning. Yeah. This is going to be next level.
Okay.
Father Brennan. Are you still serving? Yes? Do you care if I bring people with cameras in here?
But thankfully, our prayers were answered when we met Father Brennan of the Borough Inn. Both a former priest and also a candidate for town mayor, Father Brennan happily served us one of the most memorable nightcaps I've ever had.
you have been touched by something that has had a phenomenal impact on you, it'll have a phenomenal impact on you when you leave this county for the rest of your life. You'll never forget.
Rivers run like lifelines through Blue Ridge, Georgia. And as a traveler, choosing a reputable agency to explore them is really important.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Gina.
How are you?
Which is where a seasoned vacation rental professional can make all the difference.
Oh, the hard work.
Next level.
We hit up the Toccoa Valley Campground, where a little rain would not put a stop to our fun. The proprietor, Gina Golden's parents, started the campground almost 40 years ago, and she still strives to carry on those same family values. The combination of warm mountain air, cool raindrops, and floating down the river made for quite the dramatic experience. And the tubing was matched only by a ride over the border into Tennessee for some of the most intense sections of the Toccoa River. CJ sends tons of clients to Brent Rogers and his company Raft One, where we'd spend an afternoon whitewater thrashing thanks to the recent heavy rainfall.
Toccoa, here we come!
I'm 30 years old, I'm from West Virginia, I have all my teeth, so please don't knock my teeth out.
Our guide Anthony was a cardiac nurse in West Virginia when he decided that working in rafting would put him on the more enjoyable side of adrenaline.
All right, so our next rapid's called Flipper Rapid. This is not named after the Dolphins.
In preparation for the last and biggest rapid of the day, Table Saw, Anthony challenged me to ride the bull, which means holding on for dear life to the tube as you slam into a hole face first. That will be likely the first and last time I bull ride through a whitewater rapid. The next night we met Chef Danny Melman, a Philadelphia native who moved to Georgia and built as close to a farm-to-table restaurant empire that Blue Ridge has ever seen. Danny's personality is as fascinating as his food. And because vacation rentals with a fully equipped kitchen provide such an ideal setting for a locally catered dinner, Danny coming over and preparing it was the kind of experience that just made me feel like a celebrity.
Because I'll be cooking a cucina, but I'll come by. What was it you wanted? Cha-cha. Cha-cha.
The next night we ate at his restaurant, Cucina Rustica, a destination in its own right. Danny isn't shy for words, and after dinner I got a full tour of the kitchen and the pasta making machines, and even the fresh honeycomb that Danny's wife Michelle collects from the local beehive.
What do you think, it comes here for free? Would you expect it to be less if you went to the W? He's not proving it.
I love it.
Fishing is almost religion in Blue Ridge. And while outings with the typical spin rods are something I've done with my father throughout my childhood, fly fishing, on the other hand, is an entirely different science. CJ connected me with Hunter Morris, one of the top fishing guides in all of Georgia.
People are like, all right, get him.
Yeah.
See how I'm pulling this?
Yeah, it
That's not what you want to do. It's going to make it very difficult.
So it's a delicate fight. It's no deep sea fishing where you're interesting. Okay. It's a delicate dance.
It is. Yeah, it's called finesse, man.
Hunter explained how trout fishing is more about outwitting the fish, about floating the bait naturally down the stream. And then, if you're lucky enough to hook a fish, tiring him out by easing him in with patience and grace and respect. I was lucky enough to hook a fish that morning.
Now, if he runs, make sure you let the line slide out. Let the line slide out. That's good. Don't even try to grab that hand.
Tip up.
Now be ready to reel when he comes at you. But all right, reel. Now let go when he takes off. I mean it.
Holy shit.
Dude, let me get the me get
Kiss him and let him go.
get the fly out, and then we'll give a shot. Awesome, man. Give me some slack.
Look at that. I'm staring into his eyes. This thing is beautiful.
Come in with me, kind of back behind me.
Wow.
Wanna do that one more time? Get what you need?
Yeah.
Southern Comfort Cabin Rentals, like a lot of professionally managed vacation rental companies, is a small business that grows only on its own terms. We hear of companies looking to raise funds and acquire and sell out. But in Blue Ridge, I noticed a much more long-term and community-oriented approach. I wanted to thank CJ for this lesson with a gift, and so I reached out to some of my new friends and embraced the proverbial front porch, that style of problem solving that's not done in city councils or behind closed doors, but out on the front porch for anyone who's willing and ready to get their hands dirty. A local sign maker was able to capture CJ's Blue Ridge perfectly. On the spokes, each of the individuals who made this destination meaningful for me.
Right on.
That's so cool.
And in the middle, where all of us connected, a sense of place. On my last night in Blue Ridge, I hosted a little cookout to thank my new friends for being such great ambassadors during my stay. CJ's family drove up, Paul and Christy, Case stopped by from Canterbury,
Breathe deep, right?
and Hunter, who still could not believe that I caught that fish. It's an oddly satisfying experience, really, to return the gesture of hospitality in a place that technically is not your own. But all vacation rentals, as well as I think all great destinations, secretly possess this trait, this ability to flip the script and give back to the community that's been watching out for you.
I like having big friends because you can just beat them up.
Like, don't you ever do that thing.